Hi there. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. How are you guys? Can everybody hear me? All right. If not, I canceled. Yeah. So, regarding yesterday, I'm sorry you guys, but I woke up like 11:15 my time and I felt like no, I'm not capable of doing this. Working a lot at the moment. So I thought I'd give you better quality when I'm not so tired anymore. So I hope you guys are okay, are good. Had a nice weekend so far. And we're gonna jump right into the timeline of death. The last time we ended the live stream with talking about the phones, right? So, people are saying oh no, he had no reception out there. Well, yes, he did have reception out there, right? He was able to text, he was able to call Cody, he was able to do basically everything. And even though we do not have all the data from in the discovery, I'm sure, they hid or did not make everything public, we still do know a lot, right? So for everyone who's saying, oh no, the tower's this and the tower's that, no, it's possible that he had full reception out there, right? Significant locations don't work with towers, they do work with GPS, satellite. All right, I'm gonna turn my camera off and we're gonna get right into this, not losing any more time. Gonna share my screen with you and we do a little recap from where we ended. So here you go. Remove myself. Yeah, how's the weather at your place, you guys? It's raining here for like 100 days already, so not very nice, to be honest. All right, last time we finished off here. As you can see, his where was it? Here, his work phone did not enter the login area before 9:02 a.m., right? And keep that in mind because I'm going to show you something a little bit later on in the slides, and then you will probably understand what I mean and why that can happen. Also, we don't have an exact time when, what's her name? Melissa Parrish and Chad McNeil arrived on at Survey 319, right? Melissa Parrish and also Chad, they refer to their GPS in their trucks. Melissa had no Anadarko issued truck. She had her own truck, as far as my understanding was, or she came with Chad McNeil. I would have to read that. I can't remember. Maybe you guys do remember if they came in the same truck or if they came in separate trucks. Anyways, FBI or CBI, they never actually pulled that GPS information. So we cannot be sure, really, if Melissa and Chad arrived at 8:30 as they claimed. Maybe it was 9 a.m., right? So we don't know that for sure. So as you can see here, 9:02, item 40, his work phone arrived in the Roggen area. And I explained last time what's the difference between Roggen and Keensburg. The location app works a little bit different than his GPS on his work truck. So when his work truck actually registers Keensburg, the phone does register Roggen because it goes over, it works with satellite and not with cell phone towers. Alrighty. This is what we had gone through the last time. I did not play with it around as I said I would, because it's pretty much self-explanatory if you watch my previous streams. So, yeah. What I found very interesting, and I said that over and over and over again, is that Chris Watts actually told investigators, I think it was Coda in his interview. Coda's asking, how far apart are the sites? So the survey sites. And CW answers with, oh, it's just a walk. So we know from survey 319 to survey 1029, it takes approximately 10 minutes by car. But if you walk across the field, maybe, it takes you even less time. So we don't know. If Chris Watts is saying, and he obviously knows the area, oh, it's just a walk, then he must be right, right? Another quote I have from Tammy Lee, what made me kind of suspicious that they already knew about the phones and the weird, GPS locations, is when Tammy Lee asks, so I understand. So she's talking to Luke Apple at this point. And she says, so I understand they have work phones and personal phones. Do you know if the operators have both phones with them at all times? And Apple answers, I would think so, yes. So I think Tammy Lee, by extracting his phone stuff, she grew suspicious about, the significant locations the technician provided as well. We see here his personal phone logs into the area at 6:58, and his work phone does not before 9:02 a.m. So this is what I believe. I cannot say it's a fact, but it's just my belief that she grew suspicious as well of what went on. So then here, the technician made so many errors in the timeline, so we cannot be sure that CW took the picture of his laptop screen at survey 319. This is the only picture we don't get to see, and the only picture that is placing his personal phone onto survey 319. So here you go. It is the picture of the laptop screen, and I asked Ronnie actually to ask Chris, what picture did he send to NK to prove he was on site? Was it, which picture of the sunflowers, of the 3 sunflowers pictures, actually did he send to her? And Ronnie came back to me and he said he sent her the picture of the laptop screen. So then we see here, I circled all that timeline mix up. They use item number 40 with the timeline entrance of his of item 41, and here they use timeline item number 40 for the timeline number 40. So it's all mixed up. So you cannot really go according to the timeline that's in the discovery. You have to look at more data, like his cell phone records, which we don't have, but we have like little snippets, here and there, what he sends and who he calls and stuff like that. And to piece that all together helps significantly. Also, we do have his work phone records and also his work phone records for messages. But also there, have to piece everything together, and it doesn't make sense. All right, then here we get into the messages of Cody at 7:43, and this is what I'm saying, he had plenty of reception out at survey 319, right? And if there wasn't, there shouldn't be any reception, it would have been with his personal phone. So 7:43, Watts told Roberts, yeah, I'm at the 319, 1 second. Watts then took this picture, this one of the leak. Same minute, he calls Luke Apple and held a 1 minute, 45-second conversation. We don't really know what he was talking about with Luke Apple either. So this is weird. 7:43, same minute, Roberts asked Watts via a message, and that's an iMessage, right? That's different from a normal text message. So here you can see also that he had plenty of reception, because iMessage only works if you have reception. If you don't have reception, then it will basically switch to normal text message, which appears in green. So Roberts asks Watts, how's it look? Watts replied, fresh, LOL, and then he sends him this picture. McNeil called Watts, Chad McNeil, and held a 2-minute conversation. And at 7:51, Roberts asked, is it a lot? Watts responded by sending the image he took minutes earlier. But here again, we do not know if that really was item 40, so his work phone, because his work phone only arrived at 9:02 a.m. in the area, right? So we don't know, is that actually real? Like, was it item 41, maybe? Was it really his work phone? Or was it his personal phone? We don't know, right? So this is the sun rays in shadow. Dave and I, back then, we tried to figure out if that picture was even taken on Monday morning. So yeah, that just aside, we played a little bit around with it. So according to the digital evidence and metadata, CW's work phone, item 40, entered the Roggen area at 9:02 a.m., which is evidently here, right? So how could he have sent all this at around 7 via iMessage? So this doesn't add up at all. So this is also the time he's using his personal phone instead of his work phone to text, call, and take pictures. So as soon as his work phone enters the Roggen area, he is using his personal phone instead, which is also really weird. And that makes me think personally that he was somewhere else. These are the 3 cell phone towers that were put up back in 2018. This is the Roggen area, as you can see here. So he must have, and Survey 319 is here. So he must have entered coming along the 76 and then goes up to further north to the Survey 319 by using the 386, right? We know that. All the Survey fields are on the County Road 386, and this is the tower he would have pinged off entering the Roggen area. You know, when he comes along here, he wouldn't have entered the Roggen area. This is Keensburg down here. You see that? Keensburg. So Roggen area, he enters, must have been around here somewhere. You made a feed, Mike. Welcome. All right. And this is why I said, keep in mind that his work phone entered the area at 9:02, because I found something back then, which is this little yellow line. So here is Survey 319. And as you can see, the blue, purpley kind of lines, that's all Troy McCoy. So I'm guessing they were suspicious of him from the get-go. That's why they pulled his data. He did lie. We know that. He did lie a lot. So it's not, uncommon that they would have pulled his stuff. Chris would have taken the same route. I'm assuming we do not have Chris's actual route. We only have Troy McCoy's, which I do find suspicious too. Anyways, here up there, that little blue purple star, this is Survey 319. And as I told you before, he came down this way, and that's the 386 right here, going along the Survey fields. Then here you have the Survey 1029. Hold on, give me one sec. Nice of you, Helen. I do believe in karma too. So be careful what you wish for. So this is Survey 1029, right? Thank you, Geraldine. Thank you so much. Speaking of super chats and super stickers, real quick. You guys, I really appreciate you giving me super chats and super stickers, but and please do not take any offense of this. But there's a very hard winter coming, you guys, and you know, with electricity, and they put us on a curfew now with electricity and gas. I don't know how it's been looking like in the United States, but here in Europe and also in the UK, they put out curfews from October the 1st. So please, you guys, if you know, everybody needs their money at the moment. And I really, like I said, I really, really do appreciate everything you guys do and support me and my channel. But, you know, please do not throw money at me, or I mean, I don't even know what to say, but you know, I think it makes sense what I'm trying to say, right? You need your money, guys. It's hard winter coming. So I don't want you to give me super chats or super stickers if you feel absolutely uncomfortable with it, or if you know, giving your last 5 cents, I would say. So please, you know, just take that into consideration. I highly appreciate you guys supporting me. I really, truly do. But there's, you know, I'm just informing you here and, you know, educating you a little bit. And we discussed the case. But also, you guys need your money for yourself for hard winters, and you know, so please don't get me wrong, and please don't take any offense of this. I really truly appreciate you supporting me, but what I'm saying is, you know, hard times are coming. So thank you. All right, I forgot what I wanted to say. So as you can see here, here's the 386. It's a little bit blurry, but you know, this yellow line, not yellow, purple line. So we were discussing previously, we don't know actually when he took that road down here, right? It was not when he went to use the toilet or the field as a toilet, right? So, but here's a little yellow line, and how that geotab works. They don't give us the exact location on his geotab sheet where he went. So I found out that this is Survey 1129. 1129 is still in use, but it's more used as a, and I pulled the data of this, but it's more used as a like tool container dumping ground. There's a load of steel bars and stuff like that. So I do not know if that's actually, you know, they actually operate that place anymore. I mean, I don't know if it was back in 2018. I would have to check my documents, but as of now, I don't know if it's still active. I would have to read up on this. I need you two guys, Amy, but I'm doing that for free, you know? So yeah, it's just, please don't take any offense of what I said, you know? I really appreciate it, but I know that many people are going to struggle, and many people are struggling. And it's, nice if you support your favorite creators, but at the end of the day, just, you need your money as everyone else, right? Unless you're a millionaire, then please throw money at me. But yeah, I think we're a great community, and I think you guys understand what I mean by saying this. Mm. All right. So, what I was asking myself is, even though we don't have the data, but we have this little yellow line, right? So, what if, and I'm theorizing here because I cannot prove it with any documents or any facts or any data. But what if Chris Watts actually did not enter the Serbi 319 before 9:02 a.m. because he was at the dump site 11:29, right? I don't know what's your take on this, because we do not have a time on when he went there. So maybe he went there after or before. But before doesn't make any sense because, no, after doesn't make any sense because he then, if he was at that dump site before he went to 319, we would have seen it on his location, right? So what I'm thinking is probably he went there before going out to Serbi 319. And that would make sense that his phone actually did not connect before 9:02. But as I said, we do not have any data or anything regarding this area. Actually, I asked Ronnie what, if he can ask him what he did do circling the area of the 1129, and the answer was that he was just checking on something. So he did not deny that he went out there to 1129, but he also did not tell us in detail what he really did out there. And we also don't know if he stopped or if he just went there, circled around, and drove back to the 1029, because we do not have that sheet that tells us with his under categories. I'm gonna do a live stream on the Geotab again. So because I think many don't know what's been going on with that and how to read the data properly, not probably. All right. So this would make sense, right? If he was there before, it would make sense that his phone doesn't connect until 9:02. Another thing, Troy McCoy said in his interview that, he put FBI basically on a wrong lead, I would say, when they asked him, what he did out there going back to Serbi 319. And they caught him lying. And he said, oh, well, I thought he was burying evidence out at the 1029. So did McCoy know that Chris Watts circled the area or went to the 1129? Because why would he be going back to the 319 if he thought that Chris Watts buried evidence at the 1029? Right? It makes absolutely zero sense. Yeah, but Troy McCoy is a bit shady anyway, in my opinion. You can hide things and that, what he said. Yeah, ridiculous. But yeah. All right, and here you can see, maybe I can explain it right here a little bit. Here you see, that's the 319. The yellow line is Chris, and the blue-purple line is Troy. So what do the triangles mean? It's a setup by Anadarko. You can set Geotab so they give you an alert to custom-based, they call it rules. So you basically, or the company Anadarko basically knows everything what a driver is doing, right? So they set a color and a triangle if they want have an alert. Basically, they can set a red triangle, for example, if the driver of the vehicle is pushing the brakes too hard. They can set a dark blue one for speeding, and so on and so on. So unfortunately, we do not have the data on what they actually put as a rule. Anyways, this is the second stop for both of them, it says. But this is the second stop in the area. So it doesn't tell you that this is the second stop when they came from home. This actually does tell you this is the second stop on site. So anywhere along this way, they stopped sometime. And anywhere along this way, Chris Watts stopped sometime. And previously in another live stream, I can't remember which one it was. I think it was the timeline when we went through it the first time. I had all the under categories of what they did on the 319 actually. And then there came out that Chris parked his truck and then reversed, turned around and parked again. So he changed locations basically at Survey 319. And this is all stuff they did not tell us like in detail. You have to find that out on your own, like reading and studying that Geotab crap, right? All right. So this is just a little overview. I put a little spreadsheet on the phones and when Geotab locked the phone. So Keensburg area, none of them was locked, 5 minutes apart, entering the Roggen area with his personal phone at 6:58 and his work phone at 9:02. Also keep in mind, he never connected and reconnected to his home router as he did with his work phone when he left the house, or not left the house, packed stuff in and out and went in and out of the garage. And Catherine C calls it the gas can dance or something. It's like pretty funny. All right. So within the Roggen area, his personal phone was within the Roggen area for 2 hours and 14 minutes and his work phone only for 28 minutes. Then he's leaving the Roggen area, leaving because he's leaving Survey 319 at 9:30. A personal phone 9:12 it says, and with his work phone at 9:30. So his work phone has as you can see, a more accurate connection or reception, let's call it, right? All right, the Keensburg area at entering again at 9:39. He's at Survey 1029. So what happens after that? He doesn't use his work phone anymore. He only uses his personal phone. So he's searching for the battery lyrics. He calls Sandra Rusek calls him for a minute. Then he's searching for hotels in Aspen. Then he calls the Snowmass Resort. Then Sandra calls him again. Then he searches Groupon. Then he calls Sandra for 12 minutes. Then he takes 2 pictures of sunflowers. And then at 12:17, this is the first time he receives an alert that NA is at the front door. This is when he says, stop messing with my door. Anyways, as soon as he sees her at the door through the doorbell cam, he calls her for a minute. Then he texts Josh, and then he calls Nicole again, Nicole Atkinson. At 12:27, this is when he says, stop messing with my door. Then he calls, and Meadows, the realtor, texts him, hi, I'm the realtor. So every possible thing broke at this hour of the day. So every possible thing you can think of, he went through at that moment, right? Everyone's texting him, everyone is calling him, or he's calling them, so pretty much stressful, right? So then Eddie starts to text him. Then he calls NA again. Then he texts Cassie and texts Cassie again. Then McCoy, even though he was with him all the time. And according to his interview, he was telling him about they getting separated and that Shanann left her wedding ring on the counter that Monday, right? McCoy states that he told him that morning out on site. And we have that actually in evidence in his interview. So why would he ask him, is everything okay? If they were together all the time? Doesn't add up, right? Okay, then I want to show you something on how to preserve evidence not. And I have the video footage of the survey 1029, that is. And I'm wondering why we do not see any footage other than the drone footage of survey 319, right? So they going out there because Troy McCoy told them, oh, he buried something out there. He thought he buried something at the 1029, which makes no sense in itself, because if he went back to the 319, why would he tell investigators, I think that he buried evidence at the 1029? Why not going out to the 1029 instead of the 319? Makes no sense. So this is a little video. That's the 1029. And here to the side where the sunflower field is, this is over there is the 1129, the dump site. And Chris drove not far. I'll show you in a second. He did not drive that far into the field, but you can still see his tire tracks. And because it rained, the tire tracks, are still visible, but not visible in depth. So what they are doing is in the next video, I believe. Yep, it's in the next video. So here you can see the tire tracks and see what you can see here, you guys. Tire tracks, evidence, right? And they just stomp on it. They just walk across potential evidence, which is unbelievable to me. But let's watch. See? This guy walking across potential evidence. Here you can still see the tire tracks. Not so much visible anymore, but still visible, right? So he's walking over there like with no care in the world. And this is also where the tire tracks end. So, and Chris went into the field to use the toilet. Here, see this guy? Makes my blood boil. I mean, if somebody comes to you and says, oh, he took a shit or whatnot, and go check it out, they were more interested in that pile of shit than they were in, survey 319, it seems. If somebody tells me, yeah, he might have buried evidence somewhere, then why walk across the tire tracks? Why? Makes no sense. So none of the co-workers present at 1029 ever mentioned CW driving away. Was CW telling the truth when he said he was at other sites that morning? Because as we remember, he tells Cody he's going to the 629, he's going to the 319, he's going to the 1029, and he's checking out something else, right? So where was he here? So I think that happened before the trip. But what actually happened at the dump site? And I'm dying to get those geotab sheets so we can see where he stopped. Did he stop? What did he do? For how many minutes did he stop? And most importantly, at what time did he arrive at the 1129? You know, I think that will basically make the case. As we remember also, he tells, I believe it was Cody, at around 6:30 that he's already out survey. So he might have not lied, saying he's out survey, because maybe he was already out survey, but not at the 319, but rather at the 1129 right here. So I do believe that this all occurred before he went up to the 319. But that's just my opinion. As I said, I can't prove it, unfortunately. Then here it's a little bit of McCoy, Parrish, and McNeil. McCoy states, you know, he usually is leaving the house at 6 a.m. He actually starts his journey at an unknown origin, because we don't actually have the data on when he started. We just have the data that he started somewhere and then went to the Batcave. But we do not know if he actually was at home at 6:04. Right? So Parrish and McNeil both claim they arrived 6 a.m. Anadarko. You can reread that in their interviews. Then at 6:39, CW calls McNeil unanswered. 6:41 to 6:44, he texts with Chris. 7:40, CW calls McCoy. This is when McCoy said, oh, he called me and I had to pull over, right? Not true, because McCoy was never driving at the time Chris called him. So, and so on and so on. I'm not going to go through all of this. Here you can rewatch this or take a screenshot or whatnot. It's just basically an overview of what happened until 4:33 p.m., right? So that Parrish and McNeil arrived at Survey 319 between 8 and 8:30. I don't know. I kind of do not believe it. I think it was later, because they didn't do much, right? And they left at 9:30. They left Survey 319. So it would add up if they entered the area at around 9, because this would, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I do believe that, you know, McCoy was in on something on this, even though he claims, he probably claims that, you know, hiding things at certain places. He didn't know that he would actually pull through with this and all his bullshit. I do believe that he knows. I think he is the rat. He's more of a rat than NK is, in my opinion. And this would add up with, you know, driving around unknown location and all that stuff, you know, with Chris's phone entering the area at 8:51. 9:02, keep that in mind, right? So he arrived at Survey at 8:51, McCoy did, and then all of a sudden it connects to the area. Is weird. All right. As you can see here, The first stop is Chris. The first one is his house, obviously. And if you go here to McCoy, the first one is Platteville. So where actually did he start his journey? Not at home over there. Because if he had started his journey at home over there, it would have said stop 1 and stop 8, just like it says stop 1, 6, and 7 at Chris's. But it doesn't say that, right? It does not say he started at home. He started in Platteville. So where was he previously? Oh, before that. Where? So he started here, goes all the way up to the 319. Stop 2 is the 319. Stop 3 and 4 is 1029 because they moved their trucks a little bit on site. If you look at Chris, first stop at home, second stop, the 319, third, fourth, and fifth stop, somewhere here in this area, right? I'm assuming that was the circling the dump site plus the 1029. Then he goes back. Stop 6 would be Black Mesa Road, where he parked for 4 or 5 minutes. And stop number 7 for this day would be his house, Saratoga Trail. Right? McCoy starts his journey in Platteville, goes down to the second stop, which is the 319. The third and fourth stop is the 1029. The fifth stop is somewhere at a gas station or a truck stop. Then here's the sixth and seventh stop is somewhere here. I don't know. I just remember the fifth stop was at some gas station or truck stop. The sixth and seventh, I can't remember, but then go straight home after that. So as you can see, where did he start his journey? He did not start his journey at home. So where was he? Right? Should ask him. Yeah, I don't feel like showing them the stinky fingers anymore. I don't know why I did this, but yeah, probably to the technician. I thought it was appropriate because he's an idiot. Look at this. I mean, Chris must have had over 1,200 timeline entries in the same minute, which is not even for Chris Watson NK doable, right? So no, mixing up timeline is absolutely uncalled for, especially if this is gonna be shown to a jury or a judge at some point. No, absolute no go. Can't do this. That's just not only shitty police work, that in my opinion, that's more than that. That's leading someone to believe in a narrative that they made up. Okay. Parrish, that's Melissa Parrish, later stated that she returned to Survey 319 on Tuesday morning by herself because they weren't able to fix the leak on Monday. And keep in mind, Melissa was a trainee. She was not a finished operator at this point. So they all claim, we give two shits about safety and environmental and all that, and everything needs to be on point and done. No, they don't care. If they did care, they would have never let Parrish go out there on her own as a trainee. No way, right? So they talking out of their asses. Same with, oh, the league can wait, a weekend. And then McCoy states in his interview, oh, you get fined, if you don't fix it like immediately. Yeah, well, why didn't you go out there Friday then? If you're so careful and, about the environment and everything. He's talking out of his ass. All right. The leak, so Parrish was not able to fix the damn leak because there probably was none. So she went back out there, right? This is what she said. She calls back in law enforcement and tells them, oh, I went out there Tuesday morning on my own. Shortly after that, Troy McCoy arrives at around 2. What a coincidence. Anyways, the leak is still visible when law enforcement arrived on scene. So, what exactly did Parrish do out there? What exactly, right? You can see here the leak still there, and here still there. So, what exactly did she fix as a trainee? Nothing. What did she do out there? Questionable. Then we take a closer look at the crime scene or burial site. First of all, we must ask ourselves if it was even possible to kill the girls and bury Shanann on the site that exact morning. Evidence. Phone was not in the area, no flights of stairs were climbed, but movement and steps registered, circling around fields in area and the rain. And with good conscience, I can delete this. Why? Because I think the girls weren't alive Sunday. So there's no point in asking ourselves, did he do everything on Sunday, on Monday? I think, in my opinion, yes, he could have buried Shanann in a shallow grave. Doesn't take long. It's not rock hard soil out there, it's sand. She wasn't very deep in that grave. Is it doable? In my opinion, it is. In the morning with like an hour time or 45 minutes time. Is it doable to do all of this on Monday? No. In my opinion, it isn't. Like, no. I mean, you don't kill your kids and walk back and forth and do all this in a span of like how much time did he have left? Like 18 minutes? It's no way. In my opinion, of course. So what did I do here? It's the same thing. So this was Shanann's grave. Obviously, I'm sorry if some people find that disturbing, but we're discussing a case, so it needs to be shown. People were saying that rake you see here was used, to rake over the grave to make it flatter and whatnot. I personally do believe that this rake was out there for forever. It was so rusty and old and broken. I don't think that this rake, and also not the rake handle, but like I said, my personal opinion, I haven't seen that rake. But as far as I saw it on pictures, I don't believe that this has anything to do with the case. I just think it's stuck there, and it's stuck there for years, probably. To me, as I said in previous live streams, this looks like a tire track to me here. I could be wrong. I'm not a specialist or, any kind of expert, but this does look a little bit like a tire track to me here. You can see it here a little bit better. I zoom in as much as I can here and then here. You see those zigzaggy lines? That's kind of deep and could be, not saying it is, but could be probably tire tracks, right? So to me, this doesn't look like somebody is gone over with a rake. This looks to me like somebody was kneeling down right here and gone over with a flat hand to, even it out, probably, the grave, kind of like, if that makes sense. So her head was facing that direction and her backside was facing that direction. Here, I see, you guys, I do have a good shot of that rake. So you can see here, it's rust everywhere. It's rusty. It's also stuck in the soil a little bit. And this does not look to me like this was placed recently, because look at this, you guys. It's overgrown with weeds. You see that? It's overgrown with weeds. So sticks in the soil a little bit on the left and also a little bit to the right. It's overgrown. So I do not believe that this rake has anything to do with anything. Yeah, could be that it looks like Nanya business. It could be like a wheelbarrow tracks possible movement of Shanann. Yeah, could be, yeah. At the scene with Haley. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, yeah, you see, it's like undisturbed, in my opinion. Not so undisturbed in this area, but here it is undisturbed. So, in my opinion, no, this rake had nothing to do with the case. I think it's been out there forever. Here I have a little disclaimer. Pictures following may be considered disturbing to some viewers. I don't even know why I did this, but probably for better understanding. So this up here is a screenshot from the discovery. The portion of Shanann's body closest to the surface was located approximately 3 inches below the surface. So basically nothing, right? The body was lying face down in a kneeling type position with her head facing in a westerly direction and in a declining position deeper into the ground from her lower torso. Shanann's arms were outstretched in front of her, and her feet were pulled up underneath and behind her. Shanann was exhumed from the ground and placed into a body bag. Investigator Wiener took possession of Shanann's body. And this was basically the position she was in. Her feet stuck out a little bit more, but yeah, that was basically the position she was found in. Which I don't, I can't wrap my head around how you get somebody into, Chris said he just rolled her in. But you cannot roll somebody in like that unless you wrap somebody like that, right? I'm sorry if it sounds a little bit graphic, but yeah. And this is where the garbage bags come into play. And I said that often back in the times, and I still am, but not as recent anymore. I've been working with death row inmates on their cases a little bit. So I had a particular death row inmate who went through similar stuff. And normally it's not allowed to talk about other cases or crime in itself when you're on the phone, but we did anyway. So when this case broke, we were talking a little bit about this. And I said, well, there's no way he did this. I didn't think in the start that Chris did any of this, to be honest with you. As I was digging deeper and found more stuff, I'm convinced. Well, I wouldn't say I'm convinced, but I do believe that he is not innocent in this at all, right? Do we have evidence? No, we do have circumstantial evidence. I mean, this guy did bury his family basically at his workplace, right? Who's that dumb? Anyway, and we were talking also about the garbage bags. So I said to him, well, there were garbage bags. He said he, covered her head, covered her feet with garbage bags so the kids would not have to look at this. And he said, oh, well, first of all, that's very thoughtful, well, nurture them in not seeing this, to not traumatize them and then kill them. That makes no sense, right? That's the first thing. The second thing is, why would he remove the sheet? And why would he remove the garbage bags? I mean, I'm not a murderer, and I can hardly, put myself in that situation. But why would you remove garbage bags if they were wrapped around your victim when you bury that person and then carelessly just leave them there? So this tells me that those garbage bags probably also did not have anything to do with this case. I'm not sure. Well, they found hair in those garbage bags, right? But we never got to know whose hair it was. They also found a bare footprint that did not match Chris's nor Shanann's. Same with the fingerprints and handprints and smear prints and whatnot they found, right? Nothing does match Chris nor Shanann. So this makes me wonder if those garbage bags were used for something else other than covering Shanann's head and feet. I don't know what you guys think. Reading up on chat a little bit. Exactly, Rebecca. It wasn't very well thought through. But could it be that those garbage bags were there from Sunday? Just a thought, Yeah, good night, all. That's possible, absolutely. Possibly she was in a rigor mortis in fetal position in the trunk of a vehicle. They pulled her out by her arms and dragged her to the burial site, leaving her arm outstretched. This is the theory that makes most sense. Absolutely. She was transported in a trunk. Yeah. Makes no sense, Catherine. Why wasn't just covers with the sheet CW claimed she was in? Exactly. Well, they found the sheet, but why not bury her with it? Then he didn't have to send out Troy McCoy to collect evidence, right? If he thought that through. All right. So, and people I heard over and over saying, oh, he raked that grave with that broken rake head. Well, I mean, you guys, this is how rake marks look, right? It does not look to me like this was done by a rake. This actually does look to me like tire tracks. And this is some, it, I don't know how to explain it, but if you go over a grave, or even a flower arrangement or something, and to flatten out the soil, this looks like this to me. And this on the side here, I believe it's tire tracks. Even here, maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. As you guys know, I don't see things very clearly, but this just stands out to me. This was definitely, I would believe that is a hand going over the grave as the last thing. And this probably here down here, looks to me like tire tracks, to be honest. My thought was maybe it was sticking out of the ground and he hastily pulled it out. The tracks look like a wheelbarrow. Yeah, could be, yeah. Exactly, Sleepless. The sheet would have been so easier to just leave her in the sheet, right? And why remove the bags? It makes no sense. Especially if you have murderers covering your victim tells it is a sign of undoing, right? You don't want to see what you did, and you want to that's a mental thing or psychology kind of thing. You want to undo this by covering. You don't want to see what you did, right? So it's a sign of late, I would say, some sort of remorse. Don't want to see this anymore. Don't, just undo it, Why would he remove it? So, and I was talking about that to a psychiatrist as well. And the only explanation is that somebody else buried her, because most of the times, in I would say 90% of the cases, statistically, when husbands kill their wives and they do, or a family member that was close to them, they don't want to see that. So they cover up, but they don't remove sheets or bags, or even, I had a case in 2016 where somebody was murdered with a gunshot wound to the head, and he covered her with a towel, right? It's also a kind of undoing kind of thing. And he never removed that towel either. So it just doesn't make any sense to me. So to me, it looks like those garbage bags might have had something to do with the case, because they found hair in it, but we don't know whose hair it was. And the prints do not match Shanann's nor Chris's. So what were they used for, right? And we don't know, because as Tommy Lee said, the clock has stopped and they did not test anything further. All right, I'm sorry for my for my little trucks up here. I tried my best. So this is what I was talking about. McCoy, according to coordinates, is exactly where he parked. So we have his GPS geotab coordinates, and this pinpoints exactly where he parked, right? But as you can see here on the picture of on the right, McCoy draws where Chris's truck was parked. But actually, that was where he parked and not Chris. You see that? So this is taken from McCoy's GPS, the exact coordinates. And this is the little image Troy drew on when he was talking to investigators. Can I move that? No, I can't. Oh, what a shame. I thought I can move it. All right. So why would he say that? Right? So, and this is CW's according to his coordinates. He was more parked over there. His headlights were facing the tanks or here the separator and not the wellhead. This on Troy McCoy's drawing, this little triangle thingy is representing the headlights. And he also states in his interview that Chris was facing the wellhead, which is here. Headlights. Wellhead. He was facing the wellhead. And this is unusual for somebody to park. Well, you parked there, not him. Right? And this was the location Chris has parked, more to the edge of the field, and his headlights facing the separator. So, Troy McCoy, no, didn't happen. I couldn't turn around Chris's truck, so just use your imagination. This is Chris's truck, and his headlights were facing the separator, and his the back of the truck was facing the field. And this is the position Troy McCoy was parked at. So his headlights actually faced the wellhead. Lying scumbag. So I don't see any, apart from this here, which could be, tire tracks, not too sure. Could be anything. It does look like tire tracks, but could be really anything, to be honest. We don't really see it that good. So this is the Survey 319. So Chris was parked right here, and McCoy was parked right here with his headlights facing the wellhead. Tire tracks, and let's go back real quick. So what did I see here? Tire tracks here. Yeah, but that's probably because, so many people drove around this area that it is pretty hard to even make out any tire tracks, and if they are from Sunday or Monday, right? But yeah, so this is the 1029, what you see on the left. This is the footprint of law enforcement. They just stomped through potential evidence, which is disgusting. But yeah, so these are the tire tracks, and I think I tried to match them kind of and terribly failed. But yeah, just so you see, it rained, obviously. That makes it even harder. This is the drone footage. As you can see, here is another well site. And that is why Coda asked, how far are they apart? And Chris says, oh, it's just walking distance. And here you can see it's really just walking distance to the different oil fields. There was another one over here, and there was another one just north up the Survey 319. So he could have easily walked there. This is the 319 as well. What did I put there? McCoy. Was McCoy or the water truck guy able to see the sheet? In my opinion, they were, because the weeds were not that, I mean, I don't know for sure. I haven't been there, but as far as I can see, the sheet was somewhere over there and you can see it just here. Oops, that was too far. You can see it just over here. So it's clearly visible. I mean, obviously this is a screenshot from the drone, but in a higher angle. But yeah, as you can see also here, the weeds, they're pretty much, they're pretty much see-through, so you can see through them. All right. Back to the grave real quick. Sorry for putting the little mans out here, Um, what I was thinking is, some people were saying these two little holes were an attempt to dig two more holes for the girls, potentially, right? I don't believe that. Why do I not believe that? First of all, I do believe that the kids went in there on Sunday. And second of all, an attempt. I mean, this is just not too deep to even have an attempt. To me, this looks like somebody was sitting there with their knees down, digging their knees into the soil, like in this position you can see on the left, either in this position or in this position. Here another thing in this position, and then it's you can imagine a little bit better what I meant with going over the grave to even it out with your hands, right? I'm sorry, this is very unprofessional, but I did not find any other little pictures to show you what I mean. So these little two spots, I zoom in a little bit. Here, this is, in my opinion, I mean, I wasn't there, I don't know, but in my opinion, this is consistent with someone kneeling down, right? And then goes over there with his or her hands. But yeah, don't take that as a fact. Like I said, I wasn't there. I don't know the dimensions of these two little holes. And, this is just what I could imagine because, and that picture actually was from the drone footage taken before they dug it up. Obviously, they dig around the actual grave to see if there's any evidence, any buried knives or guns or whatnot, fibers, shoes, whatnot. Sheets and pillowcases and trash. That's obviously Shanann's shirt. These were the pillowcases that were found in the trash can. And Baumhofer states in his report that these stains consisted of glitter, right? Sorry, I have to drink a sip of my coffee in my super, super, super nice strawberry cup. So anyway, Baumhofer states this consisted of glitter, and that's why they wanted Shanann's makeup bag back to match that up. Well, the family already had the makeup bag and the whole suitcase, so they sent the makeup bag back to law enforcement. Can you even see that? So all this was glitter. And that's why they said it was probably makeup. We will never know because also this was not tested. In my opinion, opinions differ, but in my opinion, these stains look exactly like soil from Serbia, right? So as you can see, it's pretty much the same, as far as we can see on first sight, So this is all the dirt and the soil and the sand, and in my opinion, that looks just like the same thing. Well, but yeah, like I said, in my opinion, I don't know. I don't know. I cannot see any glitter. Maybe there was glitter on the bed sheet or on the pillowcases, but just from her face laying on it or going to sleep with makeup on or eyeshadow or whatnot, that's glittery. But if it's not specified either in Baumhofer's report. He just says that, a glittery substance. But if those stains were the glittery substance, it's not specified in the discovery, so we don't know. To me, it looks exactly the same, especially if you zoom in, and I do have better pictures of that. I'm too lazy to pull them up, but you do see like little weeds and stuff in the pillowcases. So I'm wondering how come, All right. So why would CW bring dirty sheets back home to throw it in his kitchen trash? I am going to delete this as well because I do not believe that he brought them home. And we have to stay to the facts. We only speculate. To me, this looks like the dirt from the site. But in Baumhofer's report, and he obviously is right because otherwise they wouldn't have any reason to get Shanann's makeup back from the Ruseks. So we just gotta trust Baumhofer on this when he tells us, this was glittery substance, probably makeup. It does not look to me as this was makeup at all, especially that would be way too dark for a light-skinned person like Shanann was. She wasn't that dark-skinned, so to me, makeup, no way. But, we gotta go according to the facts, and we simply do not have any testing. So there's that. All right. So what also many people get confused with is bedsheet and the coroner sheet. This was the sheet that was found out Survey, and this was the sheet they wrapped Shanann in after they basically got her out of the shallow grave. So many people believe that this sheet was actually the sheet found out of Survey, which is not. And the bed sheet, the fitted sheet that was found that the officers holding up never appeared again in the discovery. So we see it taken into evidence, but then everybody is only talking about that sheet in the discovery. So the actual bed sheet, which was, I believe, item number 7 or something in evidence, was never ever talked about again. So there's that, right? Okay, what do I have here? Oh, and then I made the Alexa, but you guys can watch that. I made a whole stream on Alexa. I don't know why I put this into the timeline. Makes no sense. If you're interested in it, I go through it with you, but you can also just watch my video. I did a whole video on what Alexa is recording and what do they hear, and that there are some cases where Alexa helped solving murders. So if you want to watch this, go on my channel. It's somewhere, just type in Alexa and then it will come up. It's a pretty interesting stream. This is when I came freshly from the data course I've taken. Oh, by the way, I'm doing another one in November, and at the beginning of November I'm going for a week, and at the end of November I'm doing my third course, and in March next year, you guys did not know that probably, I'm gonna be doing a kind of little apprenticeship, if you will, on data, European data law, German data law, and I'm gonna get a whole certificate, and then I can call myself a data expert after a year of online school. Isn't that something, you guys? I'm pretty excited. So, yeah, excited and looking forward to do this. It's gonna be hard work, I'm sure. I'm only at the beginning, but yeah, exciting, exciting, exciting. All right. So, Alexa, it is. I told you in this live stream of the Alexa, I told you basically everything that my teacher in those courses told me. And yeah, if you watch it, you're gonna be, after watching it, you're gonna be like, oh my God, I get rid of this thing. Like it's crazy. But yeah. Okay, the first activity, 207:46. This is when he came home. As you can see here, so that's a screenshot of his router, right? And this is where the unknown Apple device appears again. Why is it unknown Apple device? I had an email of someone telling me, oh, maybe it was one of her iPads. Maybe it was one of, her laptop. Maybe it was something, something, something. No. Why no? Simply because all their devices they have in their house is accounted for. All their devices have a MAC address and also run under a different IP number. So this Apple device right here you see on screen is the only one that's not accounted for. So I could not find this Apple device in this MAC address or this IP address in any of their devices. They're all different. So unless they had something we don't know, and this only appears 3 times in the whole case, right? 3 times. So unless they had some Apple device we don't know of, I think it's a burner phone or some sort of phone or device that's not registered to their, registered to their router, yes, because otherwise it wouldn't show up. But I just couldn't find it. So all their devices they have are accounted for. It's all in the router log except this one. No, just because I just saw it. I'm sorry if I'm not interacting with chat so much. I have it running next to me on my phone, but I'm just looking at it sporadically. So please forgive me if you're... Hi, Mary! Mary, my friend, is here. Please forgive me if I do not catch your message or your question. Could it be NA? No. Why not? Because NA has a Samsung, as far as we know. Right? Okay, so he's coming home, drives there, like literally drives there, and that Apple device connects. Then here, that's 2:08. He's shaking hands with Coonrod. He has his work phone and the gas monitor in his hands. You can see that here. Right there. Gas monitor, work phone. Not his personal phone, his work phone. Right? Okay, let's go further. Oh, and I want to show you the actual body cam footage and put all this in, but the Lasso group keeps claiming content ID on public stuff. So I mean, I always dispute it, and they never can prove that they actually have the copyright. So they, it takes 24 hours, so your video will be reinstated. But it's just a pain in the effing ass with them. It is. So, and I want to give the chance to many people to watch this. And 24 hours, I mean, you're old when a stream is not up for 24 hours, right? So yeah, I'm pretty pissed about them. Anyways, so at 2:08, so a few seconds after he's shaking hands, or oh no, actually a second after, is it? No, it's 20 seconds after he's shaking hands with Coonrod. His personal phone does connect to the router. And this is when it gets interesting. So he comes in, we see him on camera with his work phone and the gas monitor. But when he enters the house, his personal phone immediately connects to the router. What does that tell us? That somebody is probably on the work phone with him, right? Otherwise, his work phone would have connected also, not only his personal phone. I don't know why I put this in. It's been such a long time. Oh, probably because I wanted to show you guys the makeshift beds of the girls here and his makeshift bed. Why am I gonna pull this up? Because we know that the night of the murders, or the morning of the murder of Shanann, Alexa triggered, right? And I was thinking, I mean, I cannot prove it, obviously, but I was thinking maybe he was waiting here on the couch or something. That's why, and when he came in, something triggered Alexa. When she came in, something triggered Alexa. Maybe it was even her. All right. You see his work phone is on, right? No, his personal phone. Sorry. His personal phone is on. It connected, as it should, to the home router. No problem here, right? It's on. We see that. It's evident because Christina Meacham asked Watts, "What is going on? Where are you? We are so worried. What the fuck?" Then Watts sent another staged message to Shanann's phone. "Where are you?" Item 42 is Shanann's phone. So this came in on Shanann's phone. I put the timestamp of the body cam. It's 2, 10, and 15 seconds. And this is exactly when Christina sends him a message and his phone lights up. I've been trying to enhance that, but there's absolutely no way. It just goes too quick. Maybe Catherine can do that for me. Please. Yes, Mary, you gotta come on here more often. But I also have to apologize to you because I did not find the time to call you yet. But I definitely will this week, and that's a promise. We need to catch up, girl, on so many things. Mary is a very, very good friend of mine. She's lived in Colorado. And yeah, we were like blogging and doing that crime stuff for like almost 5 years now, Mary, right? And yeah, with all the moving of hers and um, my stuff I have with work and all that, we didn't get the chance to call each other that often, but we're definitely gonna catch up very, very soon. Actually, um, hold on. I'm adding Mary to the moderator group. So you're blue now. You should be blue. Um, yeah. But I do love you, Mary. I do. All right. Then Kunrad comes up the stairs from the basement. The body cam captures a pair of the girl's shoes. Right here. Looks like left in a hurry. But we know that these weren't the shoes Bella was wearing. So then here. Body cam timestamp 2:14. And this is when shortly before that, they found Shanann's phone, turned it on. And as soon as they turned it on, her phone connects to the router. Again, his work phone still has not connected yet, right? His personal phone did, as it should. They turn on Shanann's phone, immediately connects to the router, as it should. So at 2:14, messages from UDOFT, that's actually NA, were finally received by Shanann's phone. By all accounts, these would have been sent by NA early in the morning before she called police. And then they list what they included, but who cares? Then at 2:26, he's on his phone here, texting Christina. And I tried to get as many screenshots as I could because I was trying to figure out, if he's not texting Christina or Josh or, one of his coworkers, he must text NK, right? So, yeah, but these text messages he sends here, they are all accounted for in the discovery. So at 2:26, Watts told Christina, "The police are here. Call you when I know." Personal phone, obviously. All right, next thing. And I showed this before, and some of you or people who follow me for a long time will probably get sick of this by now, but I have to show you again. Here again. NA was on the phone with Sandra, Shanann's mom, almost all the time, right? We know that because they were speaking. She hands the phone over to Coonrod. Sandra telling NA, "I give you permission to enter my daughter's house." Okay? That was my... Oh my God. I'm sorry, but this is what she said, right? She gives her permission to enter Shanann's house. So we know that she called NA and that they were on the phone, right? So keep that in mind for in a little minute. Actually, I'm going to show you the footage real quick. Give me 1 second. I share YouTube with you real quick because this is important. I know you guys must be sick of it, but I'm going to show you anyway because we have loads and loads and loads of new people and loads of new lurkers that might want to be educated too. so I'm just gonna show it anyway. Body cam, Chris Butts. And I always use the body cam footage of that person, Kane Elson, simply because that guy or girl put everything up there. So everything except, I believe, the dog search is in there. So everything from that morning. And it's so nice to just scroll through if you don't have to, go through 100 friggin' body cams. I mean, I have it in the digital discovery, but it's just easier to access it on YouTube. I just need to find the right timestamp, so I'm not gonna show you unnecessary stuff. So bear with me a second and just chat amongst each other. Ha, I found it already. Good. What do you guys think about that? But we can discuss that later. I'm gonna be doing a live stream on the Daybell case. I don't know how many people of you follow the Daybell case. I also have a huge Facebook group with like 15,000 people. More than 15,000 people. I was hooked to that case, and now the Netflix documentary came out on Lori Vallow and Daybell. And I'm gonna be reporting as soon as this goes to trial, like hard trial. I'm gonna be reporting every time the trial is on this case. Feel so sorry for them kids, man. This is just sick. What she did is just sick. Share my screen. Maybe Dave G can put the no, I actually haven't yet. I haven't yet, but I'm gonna be doing it when I'm more awake, because I wanna, take some notes and stuff, and I was just too tired the last 2 weeks, to be honest. Alrighty. So, what did I do? Okay, you guys can see it. All right. It is a horrible case, absolutely horrible, especially what they did to that girl, Tylee, and to her brother. It's beyond sick. It's beyond sick to me. Anyways, so I just want to show you how that phone connection and router connection works, right? So it does make more sense if I show you and then explain how it actually works. All right, so this is Chris. His, go away. It's, what time is it? Let me just switch. It's 2:30-ish, right, on the body cam. So I'll make a bit. So he's with Coonrod in the closet. Now they go into the bedroom.
Where does she normally go to?
And watch the timestamp of the body cam. Now NA comes in, gives him the phone. His phone is connected to the router at this point. She comes in, gives him the phone. So he says that was her mom. So why would she call him now? She knows already that the police is there, right? It makes no sense. So why isn't she calling NA as she did before? She calls him now. And now he says that's her mom. Makes no sense, right? So he did not actually talk to Cindy before Tuesday, so it isn't his mom. I think, or I believe, that this was actually NK that called him. Not sure, but just speculating. But it does not make any sense that Sandra Rusek would call him at this point because she knows police is there. All right. He didn't hang up though, the phone, and he pretty soon does realize that he didn't. Watch this. And watch the timestamp.
Probably not, 'cause, I mean,
Still didn't hang up. Still didn't hang up. Now he's checking. Oh, I gotta hang up, right? And you can literally see him pressing the button. Right? Hanging up. Did you guys see it? Because now I show you that his phone is exact. Share my other screen. So he does realize he didn't hang up. As soon as he hangs up the phone reconnects to the router. As soon as he hangs up, you see the time does match perfectly. 2:31 and 26 seconds. This is when he hangs up and his phone immediately connects back to the router. This is how accurate this is. Keep in mind, his work phone still did not connect to the router, but it should, right? So what does that tell us? Somebody's probably on the phone listening in. Both his phones throughout the day, and I did quite some screenshots and searching of the body cam and try to make out, the timestamps when he actually takes and makes phone calls. But with his work phone, this does connect only when somebody hangs up, right? So at this moment, he noticed that he did not hang up, as we saw in the body cam. After hanging up, his personal phone immediately connects back to the home router network, right? And his work phone still did not connect yet. So now, as he's going out over to Nate's, this is when his work phone connects for the first time. He's going downstairs, walking over to Nate's house. His work phone connects for the first time since arrival. And I put who was on the phone listening in for 30 minutes. Because when he came in, he put his work phone on the kitchen counter. Right? But it didn't connect. And it should connect because it did on every other occasion, but not when he came home, which is weird, right? So there's only one possibility. Somebody was on the phone for 30 minutes and then hung up because probably heard, we're going over to Nate's or whatnot, to the neighbor. So over at Nate's, work phone connects, and seconds after his work phone reconnects to his home network, he checks his phone to make sure the person listening in is still listening? We don't know, right? So although NK calls him on record at 5:01 p.m. for the first time we know of, she's constantly texting him. She is constantly texting him throughout the day. And he also said, well, where are her text messages she sent me in the morning? Right? So 2:44. Oh my God, that is absolutely ridiculous. They would freak out. In my opinion, my personal theory is that we were wondering, what did she say to him to make him respond like that, right? And there was talk about some unicorn cereal. So if that was a message about unicorn cereal, why would you delete it? You know, you let the sea skulls and all that crap in there, but you delete a message that is about unicorn cereal. Are you kidding me? No, I don't believe that for a second. So what did she text him that made him respond like this? And I personally believe that she was trying to tell Chris what to say and possibly how to act towards law enforcement, or what to say when he was looking at Nate's footage, because he was very, very, very nervous when Nate pulled the footage from that morning. But I do believe, as I said many, many months ago, I do not believe that he was nervous that somebody could have seen that he was taking any bodies out or that the girls were alive. I believe that he was nervous that she might have been seen on camera, in my opinion. And after Coonrod and Nate's date, you don't see anything there, right? You don't see nothing. He pretty quickly relaxes. And he gives that to some of Shanann's friends, yeah, he has a camera, but you don't see anything, almost like as if he is relieved and happy and wants to just blab it out into the world that, you cannot see anyone on Nate's footage. I think he was concerned because of her being seen. Not concerned that, he'd taken bodies out or one of the girls were alive. Because, I mean, he's a little bit dumb and not a good planner. But would he be that stupid to take everyone out, the front? No way. No way. I don't believe that anyone went out front. He states that in his interview, there are no cameras in the back. And this is a big giveaway, in my humble opinion. So, that it also would make sense, to be honest, because, her listening in probably, and then telling him constantly, all right, I heard everything, so this and that is what you are going to say. Or what about this theory, or what about that? Constantly her texting. And then he's like, oh my God, that is absolutely ridiculous. They would freak out. Does that make sense to you guys? What I'm saying? Does it even make sense? I'm so overtired. I don't even know if anything I say makes sense. All right. So from, when was it? From 2:39 to 3:06. He is somewhere we don't know, right? He is leaving Nate's, and then he is somewhere. He's not in the house. So where is he? He's not in the house because his friggin' phone does not reconnect until 3:06. And this is, I believe, when Coonrod arrives. Not Coonrod, Baumhofer, right? Okay, at this time, CW's work phone reconnects to his home network again. Having left Nate's house earlier, he went back into his house, right? But where was he for the time being? So they basically, he basically had time to gather some things because they left him like for 10 minutes out of sight. And the only evidence we have that he went back into his house is at 3:06. So where was he for 10 minutes? What did he do for 10 minutes? And I think I can show you. Can I show you this a little bit later on? But he was unloading his truck. How do I know that? Because his water container, that red one, all of a sudden appears on the kitchen counter. So he was unloading his truck. But as you can see also here, the phone connects again, right? But only his work phone. So his personal phone did not. What does that tell us? That he was probably on the phone with somebody, right? So let's go further. See here, no red water container, water jug, or what he pulled out of his truck. Then, just before Baumhofer discovered the bag of old clothes, that blue bag, Shanann's phone reconnects to the home network. So this is when Baumhofer turns it on to put it in flight mode. This is what he states in his report in the discovery, that he turned it on and put it in flight mode to preserve the data. Alrighty. So Sergeant Bakes and Officer Matthews James arrived to help Coonrod in searching the house. And I absolutely adore these two. I absolutely adore these two because they did not leave any stone unturned, right? While Coonrod just did an overview and surface check, they checked everything. They looked under the bed, they looked into the coolers, they did everything. So them two, they are, spot on. So 3:46, Addie asked what was happening. I'm so worried. Watts called Addie and they held a 6-minute conversation. 6 minutes? All right. Addie told the group, the police need to look at Chris' cell phone and computer. His work phone reconnects. And he did make that call with his personal phone. At 4:26, Burke asked Watts if Shanann was awake when he left for work. Watts lied and said, I talked to her early this morning between 4 to 5 a.m. I think she went back to sleep afterwards. She was still here when I left, kids still sleeping. Burke said that she was scared and Watts said that he was too. Then at 28, his work phone connects, and this is just a, some kind of network thingy going on here because this is 1 second. This sometimes happens, if Your router doesn't get a handshake like right away, but you wouldn't notice that at all as a cell phone user. So his work phone is still on the kitchen counter at this point. The minute he says that CW's work phone, he says what? Hold on. What did Baumhofer say? Oh, somebody's asking, whose phone is this? And Coonrod, I think it was either Bakes or James. And Coonrod says, I believe it's his. Baumhofer took hers. So the work phone is still on the kitchen counter. And as soon as Baumhofer, Coonrod states that, his work phone reconnects back to the router. Isn't that something? It's basically just as if somebody's listening in and then they were saying, whose phone is that? And the person on the line is like, oh shit, they might, see that I'm on the phone. So I better hang up now. And this is exactly when, I mean, it could be nothing, right? But this is just too much of a coincidence to me. And in this case, I don't think there are any coincidences, to be honest. And then the red cooler appears. So he was unloading his truck, right? Because this is the water jug or the water cooler he takes to work. Alrighty. While Coonrod, James, and Bakes search the house, she calls him. The discovery states Kessinger made 2 unanswered calls to Watts and deleted those. And that's wrong. She only made 1 unanswered call that went through to voicemail, not 2. Then the second call, the discovery is they don't put that in the discovery that this call actually wasn't unanswered. He answered that phone, right? But he was talking to the officer, and then he says to her, you can see that on body cam, and then he says to her, I gotta call you right back, or I call you back. This is why it's only a minute long. You see that on body cam. So the second call at 5:02 p.m. was not unanswered, right? It went through. We see that on body cam. I can actually show you this real quick. It's better when you have it visually in front of you. Just gotta find it real quick. Oh, thank you for being patient with me today, you guys. Switching back and forth screens. Alrighty, where is it? I hope this creator who put up the body cam all in one does have that still in there. I hope so. If not, then I'm just not gonna show you. That was when he was standing right in front of the house. That is too early, I believe. It was somewhere around here. He's going outside. Let them search the place. It's a shame that they don't have timestamp. I don't know where this creator pulled the body cam. I didn't realize that it has no timestamp at this particular of Bakes and James. Oh, I think here it is. I think I have it. I think it's that one. Let's just listen in real quick.
Pad work? No, not on the outside. There's a radiator right here, and every time it got something right here got busted and it pulls out. So you have to just hold it down, but it won't do anything. It's 2385. It's the code, but I can never get it to do anything.
Can you close the garage from out here?
I gotta have you gotta have the
Opener?
with you.
And so, does she have an opener?
Yeah.
Let's go see if there's an opener. Is it a physical opener or is it programmed into the car?
It's a physical one, on the dash. Oh, on the visor. And then there's one as you walk out of the garage door too.
Oh no, they going back in? No, here. I think it's here. Audio will come up in a sec. No, it's not. Dieter barking. Hold on, I find it. Ha, maybe it's here.
Back here.
Yeah, there's a driveway from the townhome that backs right up to our fence.
Now, would you think that's a female friend or a male friend?
Honestly, I'm not gonna
There you go.
think about it right now.
That's her. He lets it go through voicemail. You see?
Well, we appreciate you letting us go through your house.
He doesn't pick up. It goes to voicemail. This was her.
No problem. I'm
Definitely not.
And now watch. He's picking up when she's on the phone. Right now.
Hey, hold on one second. Call you back. Bye-bye.
Hold on 1 second. I call you back. Bye-bye. See? This is what I meant, you guys. This is exactly the time when the Discovery does not mention that the first phone call, they say the phone calls didn't go through, both of them, but actually the second phone call did go through, as I just proved to you. So this was the 1 minute. I mean, the phone always, or the phone provider always registers a minute, even though the phone call is like 10 seconds long, right? They just put 1 minute. Okay, so the second call at 5:02, we just saw he answers. That call to voicemail, we also saw on body cam. He let that go through to the voicemail. He did not answer. And this one he did answer. Cool, huh? What you can do with body cam and all that. I find it quite good. All right. Then at 5:05, he called Chase Bank. This is the timestamp here. This is when he calls Chase Bank and held a nearly 2-minute conversation. He called a separate number for Chase moments later and held a 2.5-minute conversation. This is when they say, when they suggest, is there any money missing from the bank account? And he's saying, I don't have access and I gotta call them and blah, blah, right? So, Lauren Arnold. Lauren Arnold is a high school friend of Shanann. Lauren Arnold was not only a high school friend, they were pretty much friends, right? So she states, according to her interview, that she arrived at the Watts house by 5 p.m. So this is 5:05. He calls Chase Bank. I don't see Lauren Arnold at all in any of the body cam footage. I do not see her at all. Right? Keep that in mind. You don't see her. You guys can go back to the body cam footage. Oh my God, it's freezing cold. I need a blanket. You guys can go back to the body cam footage, and I promise you, you will not see Lauren Arnold. You won't. All right. This is a screenshot of the discovery from her interview. Arnold said she tried to contact Shanann on Monday, August the 13th, between 11:30 a.m. and 12 p.m. to ask her about the doctor's appointment. Arnold said Shanann did not respond, which Arnold thought was unusual because Shanann always had her phone with her. Arnold said at about 1:30 p.m., she saw a posting on Facebook from Shanann's brother Frankie that Shanann, Bella, and Celeste were missing. All right. Now, number one, NA states in her interview that she called police for the welfare check at 1:33. Okay? And I'm not making this shit up. You guys can go back, listen to interviews, and read the discovery for yourself. So at 1:33, between 1:33 and 1:36, she calls law enforcement for the welfare check. NA also states in her interview that Sandra Rusek didn't know anything about anything. You know, she did not know that all this was going on and that Shanann was missing at this point, and that she didn't want it to worry her, you know, unnecessarily worrying her. She states she called the police and then she called Sandra anyway. So, if NA's statement is true, how the fuck did they post at 1:30 p.m. that Shanann was missing when they did not even call law enforcement yet? How is that possible? So Sandra at 1:30 p.m. did not know anything about anything. That was the words of NA. After 1:30 p.m., at around 1:33, between 1:33 and 1:36, the welfare check call was made. And at 1:30, they posting that Shanann, Bella, and Cece were missing. By 1:30, how can they know if NA wasn't in that house before 1:30? And I'm not accusing anyone. I'm just asking a legitimate question. How did they know at 1:30 that Shanann, Bella, and Cece were missing if they weren't in the house before? It could have been that they were all unconscious, right? It could have been that Shanann had whatever and fell unconscious, or, you know, something happened and the kids and Shanann were in the house. How can they say by 1:30, not being in the house, that they are missing and posting? It doesn't make sense to me. So either somebody does mix up times pretty badly, or something is fishy. But that's just my opinion. Let's keep going. So she saw a posting at around about 1:30 p.m. Arnold said she eventually drove over to Shanann's house at about 5 p.m. to see if she could find out more information about the situation. Arnold said she didn't text Chris because she didn't have his phone number. Arnold said she called several friends she had in common with Shanann, and none of them had heard from Shanann. Arnold said she did talk to Nicole Atkinson and learned she had been at Shanann's house earlier in the day and had called the police. So, again, she does not have Chris's phone number, but they were friends, right? Close friends. But she does have an Ace phone number? Huh? Does that make any sense? I did not know that they were friends. So she would have her phone number. Arnold said she went to the house and knocked on the front door and Chris answered it. Arnold said Chris gave her a hug and invited her inside. Arnold said she saw Amanda and Nick Thayer inside the house as well. No, you didn't, because Amanda and Nick Thayer did not arrive before 7-ish, and that was when police was already gone. Right? Maybe she arrived at around 7, and that's why we don't see her on body cam. Arnold said she asked Chris if he was okay, and Chris replied no. Arnold said as she walked into the house, she started looking around to see if she could see anything that might indicate where Shanann and the girls may have gone. Yeah, no, that's what I think too. Yeah, Tumbleweed, it is very fishy and odd. All right, and left by 5:30. Arnold said she first noticed that Shanann's flip-flop shoes were by the front door. Arnold said Shanann always wore those shoes and she was somewhat surprised they were in the house if Shanann had left. Arnold said she also saw a carry-on suitcase and a handbag which appeared to be still packed. Arnold said she also saw some of the kids' toys next to one of the chairs in the living room area. Arnold said she thought the toys by the chair was a little strange because Shanann always kept her house very clean and the toys appeared to be out of place. And here I put a little screenshot of what she supposedly saw. I mean, there's no doubt that this woman was there, right? But just not at the time she's stating. Also, when you listen to her interview, and God bless Agent Sentner, but I once fell asleep on a live stream listening to him. I don't kid you. I kid you not. I did. Because it's so draining to listen to his voice, and then it makes me sleepy. But go back and listen to the interview of Lauren Arnold. And if you make it through, he actually asked her if she can provide, her phone to check what time she texted Shanann or called Shanann. And she could not provide anything. Oh, she said, well, then I might have not called her. Or I did text her. Or did I call her? So, I don't know. I don't know. Something, she's mixing up a lot of things. Arnold then commented that she glanced up the stairs towards where the bedrooms were located. Arnold said Chris noticed her glance up the stairs and he spontaneously commented to her, I had to close the doors upstairs. I had to close all of the doors because I can't handle going up there and seeing everything like the toys and stuff. Arnold said she found this comment to be very strange because there were several toys scattered around the house on the main level, and these toys didn't seem to be bothering Chris. He had to close everything. So Arnold said she asked Chris if he had gone out to look for Shanann and the girls. Arnold said Nick Thayer answered this question by saying the police told them that going out and looking for Shanann and the girls wasn't going to do any good. Arnold said she then asked Chris again if he had gone to look for Shanann, and he repeated that what Nick Thayer said about the police telling him not to go looking around. Arnold said she thought that was very strange. I don't think that was very strange. I just think that she wanted to insert herself and she couldn't stand, Nick and Amanda being there and comforting Chris, is what I believe. Just my opinion. Arnold said as she was talking to Chris, she noticed he was wearing a tank top shirt and she was checking his arms and hands for any signs of injuries. Arnold said she did not see any injuries on Chris. Arnold said she noticed when she was asking Chris questions about Shanann, Chris would avoid eye contact with her and he would look at the floor when he would answer Arnold. Arnold said she thought his behavior was strange and commented that Chris didn't seem concerned about Shanann or the kids. Arnold explained further and said Chris appeared to be somewhat confused and he didn't appear present in the moment. Arnold said as she continued to talk to Chris, he mentioned he was going to try and go back to work on Tuesday. Arnold said she thought it was weird for Chris to want to go back when his wife and kids were still missing. Arnold said Chris explained that he didn't want to be in the house and he didn't know where else to go. Arnold said she left the house at about 5:30 p.m. This was the last time Arnold spoke to Chris. Arnold said she drove around the neighborhood for a few minutes to see if she could find any sign of Shanann and the girls. Arnold said she did not see anything useful, so she went home and started calling friends and asking if anyone had seen Shanann. Arnold said none of their friends had heard from Shanann. Okay, just a quick side note. In the interview, obviously, Sentner does not put everything that they had spoken off like for 3 hours or 4 hours in the interview. Arnold said something that seemed odd to me. When Sentner asked her what she did do like after leaving the house, if she went home like straight away or what she did do, she said, well, I wanted to go to Starbucks, but then Sentner says, is Shanann a coffee drinker or something, or does she drink coffee? And then Arnold said no. And then they continue. I cannot give you 100%. You will have to go back and listen to it, but something along those lines. And she says, well, I wanted to go to Starbucks to look for her. But then I remembered their shift changed, so I didn't go. And that was, so either this woman is very confused in general, or I have no clue what she meant by, she wanted to go to Starbucks looking for Shanann, but Shanann isn't a coffee drinker. But then she wanted to go anyways to look for her at Starbucks, but then she remembered their shift changed. Whose freaking shift changed? What this woman says makes absolutely zero sense. 0 sense. But yeah, you guys have to go back and listen to this. Okay, then we are at 5:28. After police left the house, CW immediately calls NK at 5:30. Watts made an unanswered call to Kessinger. Deleted. So she deleted it. She did not call him back before 9:48 p.m. Madam is busy. All right. 5:48. Unaware of events, Meadows, that's the real estate agent, asked if Watts drove by the 6508 Saratoga address. Completely aware of the events, Watts still replied, just did. Yep, that's the exact same model. At 6 p.m., following suggestions by many, Watts searched Google for hospitals near his home. In less than 4 minutes, Watts called Good Samaritan Medical Center and the St. Anthony North Health Campus. The average duration of these calls was 40 seconds. The longest was 69 seconds. Out of curiosity, I called the hospital without identifying myself. I asked if Rollo Tomasi was a patient. It took 2 minutes to get my answer. So 69 seconds and 40 seconds is not that, maybe this person called at a different time and they weren't so busy. So on the right, you see the message and Meadows sent to Chris. Did you drive by the 6508? Yep, just did. All right, I'm waiting to hear back from that agent then. We can set a time to meet. Thanks for checking on that. Then she gets a little bit suspicious. Berg asked if Watts had any luck with the hospitals, and Watts said no luck at all. At 6:30, Meadows asked Watts if Shanann was okay, noting she has not taken part in their group text exchange about selling the house. Watts replied, she hasn't been around all day. It's very odd. And here to the right is screenshot of their actual messages. And then he tells her, I've done it all. Police are handling it now. Sending prayers, please. Then at 7, Watts received a calendar notice titled Dinner with Shanann. See you guys. And she had a similar entry. We don't know anything about a dinner, do we? So, wondering what went on, and she had a calendar alert and he had one. Dinner. So they wanted to go out for dinner. Another indicator that they were not arguing while Shanann was in Arizona. And then at 7:35, he connects back to his router. So, Jeremy Lindstrom. So I'm going according to basically the timeline of events as they occurred, time-wise, right? So even though these interviews were held after the fact, I just put them in on Monday anyway, because this is what several witnesses state that happened on Monday. So, according to Jeremy Lindstrom, he arrived at approximately 8:30, and both Lindstrom and Collon stayed there for 15 to 20 minutes. So, Jeremy said that he saw Shanann's mom in North Carolina posted on Facebook that Shanann was missing, and he read it several times because he couldn't believe it. Jeremy said that he called Dave Collon, a friend who lives in Chris and Shanann's neighborhood, to go over and check on Chris. Collon called Jeremy back and said that Shanann was indeed missing, and Jeremy immediately went over to Chris's house. Jeremy said this was around 8:30 and that it would be very unusual for the girls not to be in bed at that time. Jeremy said that he and Collon were at Chris's house for 15 to 20 minutes and no one else was there at the time. Jeremy said Chris told him that all he can do is wait and hope the police find Shanann and the girls. Jeremy said that nothing in the house looked out of place, and it was the residence, and that the residence is always neat and clean. So, by 9:48, they state in their interview, both of them, that I believe it was both of them. I can't remember. Anyways, so they state, or he states, Jeremy does, that he was on the phone, right? And then that he said that his mom is on the phone. So they left. So that would make the time Lindstrom and Collin visiting Chris way later than 8:30. It would be in the 9:15 region time-wise, right? Because he knew, like Jeremy knew for sure that he was on the phone and it was his mom. But Cindy told us that she never spoke to Chris before Tuesday. So who was on the phone? He was on the phone with friggin' NK. So everything they spoke about and everything they talked about concerning Shanann and the girls was overheard by that witch. Right? She was on the phone for 50 minutes. And this is just, see, this is interesting because Dave Collin gets it right. Jeremy doesn't. Jeremy states he went there approximately 8:30. And Collin states that they went there, that the phone conversation with Jeremy occurred at with Watts occurred approximately 9 p.m. and then they went over. So Collin arrived at approximately 9:30 and Lindstrom arrived approximately 30 minutes later. So instead of 8:30, Lindstrom was there after 10 p.m. After 10 p.m. And this is evident because he knew that somebody was on the phone with him. And Chris told him, obviously, it's my mom. Like it was Cindy, but it wasn't. It was NK for 50 minutes. And this is just, basically the same thing Jeremy says that he he's talking about that he cleaned up and stuff like that and washing the carpets or whatever. Collin described Chris Watts as emotionally blank about the whole situation. Collin said he possibly, the possibility of foul play was discussed, but not brought up by Chris Watts. Collin said he left after Chris Watts said he need to lay down, and he and Lindstrom left at that time. So they left together. Yeah, so NK had all the conversation. Just give me 1 second. All right, so she heard all the conversation. She cannot say, I did not hear it, or she states in her interview, I believe, that she only learned about the fact around 5 p.m. No, that's not true. She knew earlier. She was constantly texting him in the morning. So at 9:12, a line at the Frederick Police Department called Watts and held a 6-minute conversation. Hold on, you guys. I think I did not show you that phone call. This was the phone. Hold on. Was that the phone call before they played phone tag? Yeah. So I'm going to show you that phone call real quick. If you don't mind, just chat amongst each other. I'm gonna look for it. I think I put that up. Just not sure when, but I know for sure that I did post it on my YouTube channel. So it's just a matter of time until I find it, but I want to show you this. Because later on that night, right? They have another. Hold on. I find it. Oh, here is Lauren Arnold's interview. It's also on my channel. I'm not gonna play it. Don't give me one sec. Where are these phone calls? I have to do a separate playlist for phone calls, I think. Is this the phone tag one? Was it 912? Yeah, I got it. So I can show you that phone call real quick because then I can just go somewhere really quick. I need to go. I might be better muting myself, or you guys have an echo. All right, I'll be back in a sec.
This Chris,
Hey, Chris, it's Officer James Frederick PD.
how's it going?
Good. I was just calling to see if you had heard anything.
I haven't heard anything at all, sir.
Okay. Had you talked to the friends after we left some more?
Yeah, I've called the hospitals and I had a couple friends stop by as well, and nobody's heard anything. They've even reached out to some people that I didn't know. So
Okay. Do you have any contact info for some friends that you talked to on the phone? That way, do you have any suspicions at all where she'd be?
I honestly don't have any like inkling of where she would be unless somebody is just not telling me if we called them.
Okay. Do you have some people that I can call and let them know that we're looking for them, and if they don't necessarily want to tell you some stuff, that we would like to know where she's at? You know what I'm trying to say? That
Yeah.
maybe they're afraid to tell you some stuff, but they'd tell it to us.
So let me look here. So do you have Addie Maloney's number?
No. Go ahead with that. Okay.
Yeah, Sam Paisley's number.
Just go ahead and give them all to me.
Okay, so Sam Paisley,
Okay.
look through some text messages. Christina Meacham.
Okay. Any others?
Okay. I'm looking right through my text messages. Jeremy Lindstrom.
You can hear Dater. He's back there. He's still so shocked.
Got all the new ones that I know you probably didn't have.
What?
I've heard from tonight.
When I was over there, we didn't ask what kind of marital problems are you guys having? Why are you guys wanting to separate?
Mainly because, like, when we were apart for, she was in North Carolina for 5 weeks.
Is that North Carolina?
It just felt like, yeah, she went to North Carolina for 5 weeks, and
Okay.
I went down there for the last week, so 6 weeks altogether. And it was mainly just a disconnect. Like, we just fell out of love with each other. It was like once we got back, like once we were together again on that last week, it just never felt the same. And we talked about it while we were there, and it just felt that disconnect, and I just didn't feel like we were in love anymore.
Okay. Had you had any marital problems before that?
Not really. I mean, the main thing is, like, I could never really be myself, and like I felt like, you know, I could never just be who I was, like, before I met her, like, and she could never see me. And I feel like I'm just talking to like a psychiatrist about this right now, but like it was, we just had that disconnect. Like, once I saw her again, it was just like, no, it wasn't there anymore.
Okay. And it's going to be a hard question to answer, but is she seeing anyone else that you're aware of?
I mean, I'm not going to say no, because I mean, it's totally possible.
Okay. Are you seeing anyone else that she isn't aware of?
No, I have not done that.
Okay. Well, are you going to work tomorrow?
I called my boss and told him that, you know, I'll come in early just to see what's going on, and like if my head's not there, like he said, he'd give me some like office stuff to do, and then I can just roll out.
Okay.
I'm just gonna I didn't know what you wanted me to do.
Yeah. So
right now it's hard to be in this house right now.
Right. If you hear anything, I want you to call us right away.
Oh, definitely. You guys, like, yeah, speed dial.
Yep. So I want you to call us right away, and that's that number that I underlined on your card there to the dispatch, because we may not always be in the office, but call that dispatch number right away, and then you can reach an officer 24/7 there.
Okay.
And then we'll most likely be in contact with you first thing in the morning if we don't hear anything from you tonight.
Okay.
To try and start backtracking some stuff, okay?
Okay, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.
So that was interesting. He's telling the officer that they talking to a psychiatrist about that at the moment. I never catch that before. But yeah, sometimes it's good when you go back to the phone calls and all. All right, other screen. So that was the phone call we just heard at 9:12 p.m. So then here again at 11:09, Kessinger called Watts and held a 51-minute conversation, actually 52 minutes. Then Alexa gets triggered, and I put that after my stream about Alexa. Alexa, and this is from Amazon.com, Echo Dot, right? This is from their website. So they're saying Alexa may send recordings to Amazon if certain frequencies and disciples that can only be heard during intense arguments or screams are detected. So I highly recommend you guys watch my stream, about Alexa and what Alexa does record and what not, right? So they even, it's in the discovery, they even took Alexa into evidence. If they ever tested it, no clue. But it's interesting because I wish they had, because maybe Alexa gives them some data, right? Amazon is not willing to give out anything, and they always say like, no, they don't record, and because they don't want you to know that they actually record certain frequencies. Yeah, but that just on a side note. All right. Early morning hours of Tuesday. After 3 phone calls between the two, meaning Watts and NK, the technician forgot to mention. So he mentions only that phone call, right? The 52-minute phone call. But actually, they talked again at 12:08 a.m. for 31 minutes, at 1:12 a.m. for 3 minutes, and then the very last phone call at 1:51 a.m. for 8 minutes. Well, we don't know. Maybe they communicated through that GroupMe app, because that wouldn't show up in anyone's phone records. It's wireless based. All right. Then between 1:51 and 2:06, right? You see here, they talked for 8 minutes and for 1 minute. So at 1:58, Watts played phone tag with a line at the Frederick Police Department. What he states is, and maybe I play that as well, so you guys have that fresh in mind. The night is young, so. And thank you for everyone who's just joining us. I'm just gonna play the other one too, where people think he's crying. It's right after that one. I have to mute myself again, or you guys have an echo.
Yeah, it's him. Okay, maybe this Officer Goodman. Is this Christopher? Yep. Hung up on me again. Hello, Christopher? Christopher. Yeah. It's Officer Good. Yeah. Just going to keep it recording so in case he calls back and get him.
Hello, Christopher. This is Officer Goodman, Frederick Police Department. Are you there? Hello? That's the number you called and it went right through last time you had contact with him? 910-309-1702. That's what's coming in. They don't have a house phone? Yeah, it's a different number now. This is Officer Goodman, Frederick Police Department.
And this is Chris Moss. I was trying to call you back from my personal phone. Kept saying call failed, so I just used my work phone.
Oh, this is your work phone? Okay. So, we're just trying to get some of your wife and kids' information entered in to put some alerts out there. I just need to get some information about the kids. Do you know how, on Bella, do you know her height, weight, hair color, and eyes?
So height would be 42 inches.
Okay.
Weight would be 40 pounds.
Okay.
Hair color would be brown.
All right.
Eye color would be brown as well.
Okay. Does she have any scars, marks, tattoos?
No.
Okay. And then on Celeste, same thing.
So she is 37 inches tall.
Okay.
She is 37 pounds.
Okay.
Blonde hair.
Eyes.
Hazel eyes.
Hazel. Okay. And again, no scars, marks, tattoos?
No.
Okay. Okay. We're just going to get that information out. And we're just going to keep. Oh, does Shannon have any scars, marks, or tattoos?
She has the scar on her forehead only pops out every once in a while. It's from that car wreck she had a long, long time ago, but no tattoos.
Okay. Is it really a visible scar or no?
No, it's just like only when only if she's like really heated.
Okay.
She's like outside running around a lot.
Okay. So it's like when there's a lot of sun?
Yeah.
Okay. And where is that on her forehead? Left, middle?
Yeah, it's like right in the middle forehead. Like right, kind of like it runs like right in the middle, like just above the bridge of the nose, and it runs down, just like where the glass stuff went into her forehead for that car accident.
Now, when you say goes down towards her
like
mouth?
It goes up and down, so side to side.
Okay.
Like you have to really look for it, but like it's there. Like if she's like outside running around, it just kind of comes through.
Okay. So since the other officers have talked to you, has anything else come to mind that you can think of to help us try to figure out what's going on, where she is?
Nothing's come across. Just a bunch of text messages from a lot of friends just reaching out to me, just seeing like if they could help or whatnot, but nothing new.
Okay. Can't think of any other names or anything that come to mind that we could call.
No new names right now. Everybody else it's just been like consistently the same people just reaching out to me.
Okay.
A lot of phone calls from North Carolina, but people I haven't heard from in a long time.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Well, if you hear something, obviously, let us know as soon as you can, and if you can think of anything, if anything, you think of that might help us locate her, just let us know. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
All right, you have a good night.
Isn't it funny how the officer asks, do they have any tattoos? Like 3 and 4-year-old girls have any tattoos? Well, I know that they must ask this, but it's just ridiculous, right? All right. Different screen. In my personal opinion, I do not believe that he was crying. He sounded very tired. I mean, it's obvious because he didn't sleep a lot. He was awake for over 24 hours. He had a shitload to do Sunday night. I don't think he ever slept. So he was basically awake for almost 2 days. So, and this is exactly how he sounded like, in my opinion. All right, so we just heard that he was playing phone tag. And this is, this is a screenshot of his work phone. So it's evident that Frederick Police Department called him for 5 minutes at 2:02 a.m. So it all lines up. So at 2:06, he calls her, and at 2:07, she calls him for 11 minutes. At 2:07, Watts made an unanswered call to Kessinger. She called him back seconds later, and they held a 10-minute conversation. So NK was listening to CW's phone call with police the whole time. So she cannot say, I didn't know anything about nothing and blah, blah, blah. She knew everything, what they were talking about. All right. So this is getting interesting, and I'm doing them 2 slides, and then we go, what is that? Oh, that's just the tanks. All right. And then next time we're gonna go into the aftermath, basically, and how it all developed over time and with Rourke and all these things. And we're gonna go into this in great, great detail, you guys. All right, at approximately 4:38 a.m., I was contacted directly at the police department by Shanann's mother, Sandra Rusek. Rusek was upset and told me that she and her husband believed that her daughter and granddaughter's disappearance involved foul play, and that she honestly believes that her son-in-law was involved in the disappearance of her daughter and granddaughters. She stated that Christopher is acting weird and out of the ordinary. She said that Christopher is telling people he has to go to work, and that just doesn't seem right. She felt that he is going out to pour oil on the bodies to dispose of them somewhere. I'm going to read that again. She felt that he is going out to pour oil on the bodies to dispose of them somewhere. Rusek said that she felt when Shanann had come home late from her trip and had been exhausted, and that she and Christopher had argued. But due to Shanann's lupus, she would not have been able to put up a fight. My personal opinion, not a popular one, but I don't believe she ever had lupus, to be honest. I've been talking to many, many women that are actually very ill with lupus, and it's just how do I explain it? It's just not what these women went through. Is like you cannot lay in the sun. You cannot get pregnant so quickly. It's just little things that that makes me feel, but that's just my personal opinion. And take it or leave it, but I don't believe she had lupus at all. All right, so Shanann's mom knew that they argued, and she felt like he will be pouring oil onto the bodies to dispose of them, right? Rusek also told me that she had bought Shanann an Apple iWatch and the ID was her plan number, blah, blah, blah. She said she had purchased it under her T-Mobile plan, but that Shanann had transferred it to her own AT&T account. She identified the iWatch as being a 38 millimeter silver A1 white in color. All right. After that phone call in the morning after, Wednesday morning, they mysteriously find the watch. So now, if that phone, or if, Chris states that he just threw the phone into the cushions and it was visibly to Nick who found the phone, why wouldn't he have found the watch also? Because they were obviously right next to each other in the couch cushions. And do you guys remember what I told you about Sergeant Bakes and Officer James? They looked everywhere on Monday when they came in. It's also on body cam that they moved the pillows upstairs on their couch and there was no watch. So, as we know, Tuesday to Wednesday, Chris did spend the night at the Thayers. So, if he didn't place the watch in the cushions, who did? Who did? Where did the watch came from all of a sudden, right? In the loft area located between the bedroom was Shanann's cell phone that I later learned was found between two cushions of a sofa located in the loft area. An Apple Watch determined to belong to Shanann Watts was located on a couch in the upstairs loft area underneath the throw pillows. This watch was collected as evidence. An Apple iPad was found in a backpack underneath the desk in the office, which was also collected as evidence. And this is here a screenshot of the discovery. That was her watch, gold and pink in color, not white, recovered on the 15th, that Wednesday morning when they went in to look to search the house again. So as we know, Chris did not spend the night, and if he didn't put the watch in the pillows after James and Bakes went through those upstairs pillows, who did? Because he wasn't at home, right? The Tooth Fairy? Yeah, Craftastic, probably. The Tooth Fairy put it there. Yeah. Really strange things are going on in this case, Really strange. All right. So at 4:38 a.m., Shanann's mom called the police department. 20 minutes later, she calls Watts and held a 4-minute conversation. Rusek then called me back and told me that she and her husband Frank had just spoken to Christopher and that he is not shedding a tear about his missing family. She did tell me that she told him if he was involved, he would see her become irate. All right. When Chris goes, here's the reason why I don't believe that she said to him, if you were involved, I'm gonna rip your head off. Because when Chris goes into the interview on Wednesday, the first thing when he opens the door is he says, if that's a kidnapping, her mom told me not to talk to anyone if that's a kidnapping, right? So, and then Tammy Lee says, uh, not to talk to anyone. And then Tammy Lee says, what, she told you not to talk to us? And he's like, no, the media and stuff, if that's a kidnapping. Right? So that indicates to me that they were probably talking about a kidnapping rather than Mrs. Rusek telling him, you have something to do with this, or, I don't know. It's just a feeling I have according to, the discovery and what he says, and, listening to the interviews and observing his behavior and what he says. So it's just odd to me that they went apart basically in a little argument, and she telling him, if you had something to do with this, blah, blah. All right. Rusek finally told me that Christopher had called a neighbor and told them that he feels we are watching him about his involvement in this. Chris never stated anything like it. Never. Not to the police, not to his mom and dad, to nobody. So I think I have to look a little bit more into this and make some sort of connection to those statements. I explained to Rusek that she should not threaten Christopher or say too much in regards to the direction of this investigation, as we do not know exactly what the circumstances are involving the whereabouts of Shanann and her granddaughters. I recorded my telephone contact with Christopher on my body-worn camera, and it is available on evidence.com, which we just saw or listened to. At 6:32, Sandy called again and held a 6-minute conversation. And that's it for now, Tuesday morning. So after, she was running errands, telling police about the watch in the middle of the night and him pouring oil, and that she's gonna freak out when he has something to do with this, and, talking about kidnappings and stuff. She calls him again for 6 minutes, and that's the end of this. There I am with my blanket over me, freezing, but I'm not turning the heat on just of now. It's only September, right? All right, you guys, I hope I could enlighten you with some stuff. I think it's important that from time to time we go through the timeline to just, put that back into our heads, what actually went on. And next time I'm gonna be going through, basically the aftermath of what, they took him in, they did the interview, of some key points, I would call it, he says in his interview, that was significant to me. I don't know about you, but maybe it's significant to you guys too. Just making some connections to something, and then we get into the DA Rourke. Just some announcements I have to make. I'm definitely going to do the documentary trailer of my documentary, or basically Dawn and my documentary, coming out in 2023. Working on the trailer as we speak. And I'm also gonna do some sort of, what the fuck moments of this case. So this is what I'm gonna be doing in like this year. Another thing is that I don't know if I can go live next weekend, simply because Steve's brother is not so well, and he's probably gonna fly out to England, and after work I'll be watching my kids, obviously. So I don't have so much time, to prepare live streams or to do anything or videos and stuff like that. It's not sure yet if he even needs to go, but just in case you guys miss me next week, hopefully. I try to squeeze it in, but as I always tell you guys too, family just comes first. And yeah, I see what I can do. I absolutely, totally will miss you if I cannot go live, but that's just the way it is, right? All right, for today, I'm finished with that live stream. I hope you guys enjoyed what I brought to you today. Definitely go back and watch that Alexa. You learn a lot about that. I also have I also have some members only live streams that I'm going to make from last year, or this from the start of the year. I'm going to make public shortly, and the trailer will be public, but the documentary will be members only. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed and have a good rest of your Sunday. Look into the Kylie Rodney case a little bit more, because I'm gonna come up with something in the future as well on that case. And what else did I want to say? Nothing. Just stay healthy and yeah, stay good, stay out of trouble, and stay true to yourself. That's the most important thing. And I love you guys. See you next time. Bye.